Alright, so this has been an insane couple of weeks for Jujutsu Kaisen fans like myself. Guys, Nobara is alive! Goat Bara is back, and I'm so happy for it. This is coming from the guy who made up, by the way, an entire theory on how JJK would be different if she lived just like a month ago. So let's get into chapter 267. I'm a partner with GamerSubs, and using my code will get you 10% off all orders site-wide, including the incredible, and my personal favorite, Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Energy flavor, along with a waifu cup of your choice. Thank you so much to GamerSubs for being an amazing and supportive partner. So the chapter begins with Yuta trying to convince Gojo to let Rika eat one of the fingers of Sukuna that Gojo has. Now this makes sense and is a smart plan, not only because you have Rika, an already very powerful character in her own right, getting a surge of energy and power from one of Sukuna's fingers, but as well the intent behind it is to have Rika copy Sukuna's malevolent shrine, and possibly a little bit extra for the kitchen too. After all, this is necessary because even though the great American state of Utah resides within the noggin of Gojo, he can't read his memories. But Gojo surprisingly rejects his proposal, and this is for a very good reason. Even though the conditions of eating his finger would be enough to copy, it would not be enough to get the information they need on Malevolent Shrine. That's because to gain the enemy skill materia, for using Final Fantasy VII terms, Rika would need to consume a vital part of Sukuna, not just one of his fingers. However, the amount is ultimately different for every person too, and the number of times they want to use that particular technique, and if that's not possible, they would need to use a binding vow. Now, GEGE gives a pretty concise explanation using Gojo. Essentially, to use Gojo's limitless ability, they'd need to consume one of his arms, but he could just regenerate it, which would make the sorcery value of the body part that was just digested drop to 0 if regenerated. Essentially, as long as he can regenerate that eaten limb, this is mostly useless to do. And Yuji considers copying Gojo and Haruki's technique because that would make the most sense, right? But it doesn't quite work like that either. The scene continues with Yuta and Mei. Yuck. Mei. Change my mind in the comments about Mei. I double dog dare you. But anyways, joking aside, Mei is like, Toto told you about resonance, right? And the great American state of Utah replies, that's why we're putting this into motion before fighting Sukuna. And this is important mostly because they'll give Itadori the info he needs. And on top of that, they should be able to keep secret what Itadori is thinking, and most importantly, the knowledge he would have. So they seem relatively pretty confident that this shouldn't be an issue in the fight, and we'll see how that goes. He also has a pretty massive advantage in that Itadori's flesh has been practically engraved with Sukuna's cursed techniques. Now, which is huge for him because for what reason? Is it because Gojo's 6 eyes confirmed it? Or really, is it because we're just beings made from dead stars and space particles? Or really, is it because inside every one of us lies a minion waiting to use Black Flash against Sukuna as he says, nah, I'd win. So now back to the fight itself. Sukuna notices that Itadori is now missing 2 fingers, and he knows something is wrong because the one he used to transfer into Megumi was his little pinky finger. Well, I gotta say, I sure love it when a plan comes together. Sukuna never recovering his last finger, well, that was all a bluff because they were able to fulfill the copy of conditions for Malevolent Shrine and hopefully the Kenshin using not one of Sukuna's fingers, oh no, but Itadori's. Which leads to Utahime and Gakuganji explaining that Sukuna's fingers are special grade cursed objects that can withstand physical force as well as sorcery. However, my friends, with a binding vow, they were able to destroy the object from the plans and instead focus on penetrating the cursed technique itself. Ooh, and how are they going to do that? Well, Nobara Kugisaki! Goodbye! Oh my God. Guys, gals, it was never Nobara over. It's only just Nobara gun. Nobara gun. Gege Akutami, living up to his promise of trying to satisfy everyone he can with this ending, brings back literally the best girl of Jujutsu Kaisen, no cap. And I love the dialogue he writes for Nobara here. She says, you better be happy, boys, which sort of harkens back to, I think, one of her first lines of dialogue, too, in the series.
釘崎野原、喜べ男子、こう言ってんよ。
but oh my god, it's just so perfect. Now, I could sit here and complain about how she's been out of the story for years, the constant references to bringing her back and how frustrating that was, and how this is most likely too little too late. I mean, I could doom and gloom about it, just like everyone else does on the internet about literally everything. But I mean, I gotta be honest, I love the fact and am grateful GEGE brought her back, but come on. We wanted to see Nobara and Itadori team up so many times. There was still so much missed opportunity with her character, even though it's an objectively good decision to have her involved with the final chapters. In other words, yeah, too little, too late. It's not the best writing, but the meaning behind this bit of fan service does, to me, show that GEGE wants to please fans of JJK at the end of the day. He has our best interests in heart, and despite what I think many people believe, he does indeed care about the quality of JJK and the happiness of us, his most supportive fans. For better or for worse, because as we know, like, seemingly half of the JJK community is just kind of miserable. So thank you, GEGE Akutami, for this rare fan service moment. Much appreciated. Also, important, she's got an eye patch. She's a pirate now, yar. Where's her peg leg? I saw people saying she's like a character in One Piece now in the Manga Plus comments, which is funny because there are literally 0 characters with eye patches in One Piece. Zilch! And as a quick aside, that's because Oda is saving the only eye-patched character for the ending of One Piece. So there's a cool little fun piece fact. That's we could probably make that a thing. Fun piece. Anyway, shut the hell up, everyone. Nobara is back. So she goes to pierce Itadori's Sukuna finger with her curse technique. I'm sure there's some joke I could have made there. Using the finger like her effigy doll, and quite literally annihilates Sukuna's chest with resonance. And the best part is that Sukuna immediately realizes who it is and what's going down. Nobara, with a massive W, gets one up on Sukuna, and with her classic pose, hammers out, I guess I was gonna say eyes, but I guess eye wide, says, "Ha! Gotcha, you idiot!" And Itadori gives that smirk as if he's reading my mind. He uses Dismantle on Sukuna and proceeds to essentially just lay into them, and they begin to trade really brutal looking blows. And Sukuna begins to essentially reason with himself what happened. I mean, he's so cocky, he just doesn't believe that Itadori would be able to pull this off because he hasn't been able to heal his wounds because of the reverse curse technique, meaning Itadori pretty much is past his limit now with the massive cursed energy consumption. He should now be the one to die here. I mean, he's left wide open, but Sukuna underestimates Itadori as he is hit with a double blow with a temporal difference. Science terms, I suppose. Basically, in layman's terms, he got good. And so with a burning blue fist, he tells Sukuna he's finished and uses one of the coolest black flashes I've seen, just for what it means, the symbolism of it. Nobara came back, and just like every time Nobara and Itadori team up, good things always happen. Seriously, I'm such a massive fan of all of the team-up scenes in the anime and manga with Itadori and Nobara. They're some of my favorite scenes in the entire series altogether. Those two characters, I don't know, they just got an on-screen chemistry like nobody else in modern shonen. And yes, once again, I understand this isn't the ideal scenario, but this is better than nothing. It's also the right call by GEGE to have Nobara return here, because without her, I think many people would feel this ending to be somewhat of a bummer and just meh. Also, considering the fact GEGE has so much to wrap up in the next 4 chapters, I think this softens the blow of what will be a messy and chaotic ending to shonen's most popular modern series. But let me know what you think about Nobara returning. I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially on that. I'll be covering the final chapters of JJK, as well as other series like One Piece and Hunter x Hunter and so much more. So subscribe, drop a like, help us grow the channel. Thanks for watching, bye-bye.